Hello, everyone. Welcome to your Pinterest for Beginners crash course. Today, we are diving in exactly how to get started with your Pinterest marketing journey for free. The thing is that as a Pinterest expert, I get asked all the time, Megan, can you create a beginner's course? I'm really just starting at step zero. And I really don't feel like I understand what to do first, when to do it, what to optimize, and how to focus my time, or even if I should be using Pinterest. So I had a video go viral that was a Pinterest crash course. It is a quick start guide to getting going with Pinterest so that you can begin to measure that return on your investment. I just want to take the time to thank everyone who's here live, those of you who have been jumping into the comments. It's so nice to be able to go live and have an audience. Please, if you have questions, drop them into the chat. If you have friends that you think would benefit from this, send them a text message, share this live with them. And of course, if you're watching the replay, we are so glad that you discovered us. Now, if you're new to my world, my name is Megan. I'm a Pinterest marketing expert, and I'm obsessed with helping business owners, creators, brands just like you learn how to leverage a search engine like Pinterest. But the thing is it's not just about Pinterest. It's really about more evergreen sustainable marketing. And you're probably thinking, Megan, what does all that mean? And I really pride myself on taking what could be potentially a complex concept and making it super simple for you to understand. Now, so it's funny, my printer, of course, is acting up. So I have my notes here on my phone so that I make sure I cover everything that I want to cover for today's video. And so, what I said before about this, um, like my stance is that a lot of people are trying their best to teach Pinterest. And I don't want to say that they shouldn't be or that their voice isn't important. But what I will say is I'm somebody who's been in the industry from the very beginning. And I've been teaching other business owners for over 10 years. I ran one of the largest Pinterest marketing memberships in the world. I've had the honor of mentoring and coaching thousands of business owners. And so the thing is that when I give you a quick start guide or give you information, it's not just something that I heard somebody else teaching or talking about. This comes from being in the trenches of helping everywhere from solopreneurs up to massive marketing teams with their Pinterest marketing. So you know that when I'm teaching you something, I'm giving you a framework that should work for anybody. So I make the necessary adjustments and optimizations, and I really want you to feel like you get it. It clicks. So my goal for you to come away from this video is for it to make sense, for you to be able to take those early steps. Step one, step two, step three, and that you can move forward in your journey of figuring out Pinterest for your unique business. Now, if you're watching live, I'd love to hear directly from you how you're feeling about Pinterest. So, or if you're watching the replay, we want you to comment as well. Are you a zero? Blank slate, don't know anything? Are you maybe a one that you know a little bit, you understand that it could be really powerful for you, but you just don't get it? Maybe you are a two. So you get that Pinterest is a search engine, but you can't quite figure out how to make it work for you and the business that you have, the niche, the industry, your business model. Or maybe you are a three and that you are a Pinterest manager, you're a social media manager, or that you just marketing is easy for you and you find the concept of Pinterest really, really appealing, but you want to make sure you're doing it right. So I'd love for you. We have some zeros, we have some blank slates, we have some twos, a one. Okay. And there is no wrong answers. What I want to tell you is that what's really important for you to know is that Pinterest is an opportunity for you. Okay. No matter what, it is a promotional platform for your business, whether you are a content creator, a blogger, a service provider. So you sell, you exchange your time, you help people in their business, whatever it might be. Or maybe you're a creative, you're an artist, you're a photographer, you're a writer, or maybe you sell physical products. So you're an e commerce store, or you are a digital product seller, you're a coach, or somebody who shares your information online. What I would like to say to you is if you're asking yourself the question, should I even be using Pinterest? Megan, should I even be watching this video? Is this video for me? What I would say is you're probably going to learn more in the next 15 to 20 minutes than you will learn from watching lots of other, short viral reels or TikTok videos. I really do knock a power punch into my teachings. And that's because I really want you to feel empowered. So I got asked a week ago, a person in a coffee shop who was really wonderful, curious about what I was working on. She said, "What is your wish for people who find you?" And my wish is to empower you, not just with the idea that you can be using Pinterest, but that you can understand, embrace, and in love marketing your business. Your content creation, your marketing, your social media doesn't have to be stressful. And you might not love it. We don't have to love content creation, but I want it to feel easy. And I want you to think about the main concepts. You need levers in your marketing or your social media that help you grow. And then you need levers or other mechanisms in your business that help nurture and build relationships with those that find you. And so, if we just from a very top level think about this, I would love to know for those of you who are here live, how did you find me? Do you remember how you found me? Did somebody recommend me? Did you see one of my social media posts? Maybe you saw a paid advertisement. Maybe you were actively searching, Pinterest marketing for business on TikTok or on Pinterest or on Google, and you stumbled upon me. Okay? So that is discovery. That helps people find you. Pinterest is a visual search engine. So it means that people are who are heading there with the intent to find something, find you, your business, your products, your services, your incredible knowledge. And I just want you to take a moment. What is one thing that you are intuitively, you know a lot about that you could talk about for ages? Like if people like came to, if I knocked on your door today and I said, maybe you are, let me think. Let me have a little think here. So if I come to you and say you sell physical products and I say like, well, what makes your product better? Or what happens if it rains on it? Or what if you are an artist and I'm like, oh, like what's your particular style? How did you learn how to do that? Or why do you pick those colors? Or maybe you sell a physical product and I said a question about the product like I don't know how to wash it. You probably will very quickly be able to provide an answer to me. So the thing is that on Pinterest, pinners are expecting to find original, interesting solutions to the problems they have. Okay. And that presents an opportunity for you. And so when we think about how we use Pinterest as a business owner, we need to really step back and remember it's not Instagram. So it's not Pinterest versus Instagram. It's not Pinterest or Facebook. We want to think about how these different marketing platforms are just tools in our marketing toolbox. And that's my job, right? Is that I tend to, people come to me and it starts with Pinterest. And you'll say, Megan, I really want to learn Pinterest. Can you teach me about Pinterest? And the thing is that you come to me for Pinterest, but I end up helping you with your content, with your website optimization, with your messaging. Maybe we just need to work on how you think about your customer. We need to sort of have those shifts. Maybe even you're struggling with like imposter syndrome. Like, why would anyone want to learn from me? And at some point, all of us have been there, right? We've all been there. Why me? I think that when we think about this, we have to think about how we are going to approach Pinterest differently. So it's not the same as Instagram, it's more complementary. It's not the same as Threads, it's complementary. And I think that when we step back like that, we can think about what can we bring to Pinterest so that we can create content that supports our potential audience for where they are at. And I talk a lot about this in my course, Pin Potential, where I have an in depth 9 step process to really teaching business owners and brands how to use Pinterest based on their unique model. And it all starts with your content. Okay. No matter what type of business owner, whether you are a farmer, a painter, whether you are, I'm looking to see what other things you are here, no matter what you are, the thing is that it all starts with your content. Your content becomes the vehicles for how people are going to discover you. And so that's why so many people come to me as a marketing coach, as a marketing mentor with someone, I have over 15 years experience in it. And before that, I was working in school psychology and neuropsychology. So that means that I'm kind of obsessed with why people do what they do. How can we identify patterns and then make our lives easier? I think that that's another thing that really makes me different is I want to identify for you what we need to work on, right? So, yes, you might have things in common with your friends or other business owners and that's why you'd be like, you ask them for advice. But the thing is that we all have these individual things. I could just sit here and tell you guys exactly what I've done in my own business. It doesn't mean that it's going to work the same way for you. Right. And so I want you to be that like skeptic when you are watching people teaching and you're consuming different people who are putting out marketing support and social media and content creation to really think about that. So, as a search engine, we have to optimize certain touch points on our Pinterest accounts. Okay. So, we need to think about how we can optimize and set up our account so that Pinterest knows who you are, what you do, and what you're putting out into the world. Okay. So this is where my background in psychology is I like to figure out like what are these common ingredients that work for everybody. And we do know that when it comes to social media, whether it's YouTube, content we're creating so that Google will understand who we are, or something like Pinterest, or in fact, also TikTok, is that we know there are certain things we can do that send a positive search signal. That's the best way for me to explain it. It's basically saying, this is what this account is about. This is what the content is about. And this is who you should show it to. And I think that truly, if I were to really step back and people ask me like, Megan, why Pinterest? My why is because I really like that I can control those aspects. It sometimes feels like we're creating social media and we content and we just, let's hope it does well. I hope my following sees this. And I hate that. I really, really hate that. I also love the longevity of Pinterest and search marketing. So when I say that, it's not just about Pinterest, it's about things that we can optimize for discovery later. So a blog post, a page, or your website, you can optimize with search engine optimization so that Google will show your website, your blog content, your landing pages way, way, way after you hit publish, okay, for years to come. If I'm looking for an alpaca farmer to teach me how I can, from beginning to end, create lightweight, wearable alpaca art, really, that's what I know Norm does. Or if I'm looking for abstract art for my home, I'm looking for a cozy mystery book series. I'm looking for somebody that can teach me about how to use Asana. We could talk about all the different topics, but we need to think about how can we make this content discoverable at a later date. And the thing that we often talk about is SEO. So Pinterest has a component of SEO that we call Pinterest keywords or discoverability. YouTube, we know that we can use certain keywords and information on YouTube so that our videos are highly discoverable. And then, of course, traditional SEO, like optimizing your blog content, your website, anything that lives on your own website, so that Google will show it in search. Okay. So it's presenting someone actively searching for key phrases, for words that they're putting together, or on Pinterest paired with images, and it will show our thing no matter what we do to them when people are actively searching for those things. And this is why so many people kind of fall flat on Pinterest. They don't know how to make their content discoverable. Maybe you're a creative, maybe you have really good ideas for video, or you're just like, oh, my products are really good. But maybe you have like an art collection that's named something like Spring Buds or Something's in the Air, or your book is named Miss Matilda. That doesn't really tell us much of anything. The other day, a fellow Pinterest strategist showed me a client account that had been optimized by a marketing agency, and they named boards Plum Collection. That doesn't mean anything to a robot and a robotic algorithm or learning model like Pinterest. Pinterest wants to know what your content is about and what your account is about. So we have to think very quickly, how do we optimize? How do we add words to our Pinterest account to send those positive signals about what your account is about? So that's one thing I want you to think about. And after this video, you're going to go and do that for me, okay? Then you're going to think about the next time you're pinning something, how can you do the same? How can you add text context? Okay. So your words clarify what your content is about, whether it's a blog post, a video, a product listing, a service page, a review. I once had a business coach reach out to me on Threads, and she said, Megan, can you look at my Pinterest pins and tell me what I'm doing wrong? Because nobody is seeing my content. She was taking content that she was creating for Instagram and sharing it to Pinterest. And what was really funny is I saw it and I saw an image of a woman sitting on a couch and some words. Megan changed my life. What? Like I had no context. The link didn't actually, it linked to maybe a coaching package. And I said, like, what is this in reference to? What is this about? As somebody who's never seen you before, this does not make sense. So she didn't add any words or context or clarifying information so that somebody who has no idea who you are could understand what that pin meant. So when we don't know what something is, what do? We scroll. We just, oh well, right? No, I don't know what that is. Not for me, right? That's what we do. That's what we do as social media consumers. When something doesn't click, what grabs your attention visually? If you're watching videos, if you are, what do they call it? Doom scrolling, something will catch your eye. A word, an image. Listen, I never scroll past anything that shows me puppies, dogs, other stuff, I might pause, but something has to visually catch my attention. So when we think about search engines, okay, search engines are really, really powerful because you create content today that can be discovered forever for as long as it exists, right? Pinterest isn't going anywhere. Somebody said to me the other day, do you think Pinterest is sticking around? I was like, oh, babe, it started in 2010. It's not going anywhere. It's only growing. And the things that I pinned, I can tell you the things that I pinned in 2011 are still floating around Pinterest. Okay? 14 years later. Good and bad, right? We've all pinned embarrassing things at different times. Search engines like Google, Pinterest, YouTube, and more TikTok will show people your content for weeks and months and years to come, as long as it exists. So it's like having a salesperson that you don't even have to pay. And I don't know about you guys, but I love that. I absolutely love that. Of course, though, I know that Pinterest won't work on its own. So for me, again, in my programs, I teach we need a funnel. We need a plan. A funnel is your plan. What do you want your customers to do? What do you want someone who's never heard of you before? And again, no matter what you do, you're a VA, you are a Pinterest manager, you are a fine abstract artist, you are a ceramicist, you are a farmer, you sell uh, soap, you sell t-shirts for children, whatever it might be, or maybe you're a coach, you're information based like me, is that you want to think about what you are creating that will be of interest to you, of interest to your audience, pardon me, for years to come, right? How can you help them? And I want you to really think about how do you have vehicles or content in your business that works for you when you are not working, right? We've all heard the stories. Oh, I got kicked off of this platform. I'm locked out. I went on vacation. I got sick. What happens in your business when that happens? I actually, this was when I had that like funny encounter last week with this woman. She was like, she asked me, like, what's your wish for your audience, for people that meet you? And it's true that like I want to empower you, but I also want to teach people that there is an approach to your marketing that works in a layer of protection. So for me, my search-based marketing layers in protection for me as a business owner. There is so much outside of my control, right? So much. I have children, the weather, something an unexpected thing happens. What if I get sick? Right? What if I lose power for a week? What would happen to my business? What would I do? What would you do if your laptop broke tomorrow? And a lot of people don't realize how fragile their marketing or social media is. That if something goes sideways, they don't have a layer of resiliency or protection. So for Pinterest, Pinterest thrives. So now that you're like, yep, Megan, I'm using it. I want it. I want that layer of protection. Pinterest thrives with consistent, regular contributions. So as a search engine, it's funny. I had a friend who once said to me, Megan, it feels a little bit like a slot machine, right? You're like sitting there in the casino and you're like, I'm committed to it. I'm going to show up regularly. So here's the thing, Pinterest wants you to be consistently pinning content. Okay. And it thrives with those consistent efforts. So I want you as a business owner for you to really get value out of Pinterest. You need to contribute regular, fresh, original content. So what does that mean? That means that you are creating content that makes sense for your Pinterest audience, that isn't just recycling the same links over and over and over again. And there are people who teach this. Be very wary of them. There are lots of people who are teaching Pinterest for business owners that just tell you to create 400 pins to one link, schedule it out, and walk away. If you really want Pinterest to work for you, you need to really think about the end user experience. How are people going to actually benefit? This is the thing, and I say this when I run my Pinterest challenge. I'm running one of my free challenges in May. If you're interested, I invite you to make sure you're on my email list, subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the announcement when I open up registration. If I find your Pinterest pin, and I want you to answer this. This is what I want you to think about, what people are thinking in their heads. And it's not necessarily very nice and it might be hard to hear. So what? Can you answer that? Why would somebody want to save your pin, click on your pin, and go to your website? Can you answer that? What are they going to get? How are you showing up consistently to help them? Okay. And I think a lot of people can't really answer that. Your content needs to be created with the mindset that your audience is cold. So I gave a really good example before, but a lot of people are creating content that just doesn't work for Pinterest. It hasn't been created with your Pinterest audience in mind. Think about people who are at the beginning of their journey. Think about how they don't know who you are. Okay. And the rest is history. Adjust for someone who doesn't know who you are or what you do. Use the words that they use. Now, next up, and this is often very surprising to people, but video is your best friend. Okay. I'm just going to have a little sip of water. So many people, and there's even Pinterest folks out there who are teaching not to use video. Please, 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 please listen to Pinterest. They are pushing out video on more surfaces to more people because people who are using Pinterest want to watch your videos. So if you're creating video for Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or another platform, think about how you could be bringing that to Pinterest and doubling down on your efforts. In fact, I've seen people say like they create video for one platform and it just does okay, but people on Pinterest gobble it up. Probably because it's useful, educational, valuable content. Pinterest isn't just another social media app, okay? It is a powerful platform that gives you the ability to add a link to every pin. Let that sink in. And that can do amazing, amazing, amazing things for you. I want you to think about how every piece of content can introduce, educate, and build trust. Okay. You're going to use video to build that visibility, to build in that high level of discoverability. Then you're going to start showing up consistently. And so, anyone watching this, what is something that you created in the last week or two for your business? Maybe a blog post, maybe a new product listing, maybe you were on a podcast or created a video for YouTube. Maybe you created a reel or TikTok. What is one piece of content that you could publish today or this weekend on Pinterest? Jump into the chat. Tell me what you are going to do. I want you to remember that this is your sort of like your wake up call. Search is evolving. How your audience wants to find you is evolving. And how are you going to show up and let them find you easily and simply? Okay. I want you to think about that. Now, I want to keep today's call shorter. I've been going way too long on these lives. I think that you already have what you need to get going, but maybe you're feeling like you don't understand how to adjust your content. I have other videos about what content to post. Remember, every pin is an opportunity. You want to map your account and your pins onto the language of your potential customers, of your potential readers or followers. And honestly, when you do that, you're going to see like magical things happen with your content. Now, make sure you're subscribing to my channel. I am showing up on YouTube on a much more consistent basis. I hope you will join me and begin and kick off that journey for Pinterest. I am going to be sharing some more detailed tutorials, actually sharing my screen and showing you exactly what to do to get started. If you are looking for something in the meantime, I do have a series on my TikTok account. If you just look up Megan Williamson, make sure it's actually me. I have a lot of imposters on TikTok, and I have a Pinterest for Beginners series that you can watch. They're short videos, they're 9 to 16, and I promise you they will help you get you going and get you results. So we have a new product listing, would love to incorporate video, but not sure what to create. I would say it depends, Rachel, on what your niche or your industry is, and maybe I could give you some ideas if you're willing to share that. I think that Karen shared that she has a new product listing. You have new work. I think sharing behind the scenes, sharing detailed information about how you created that. I'm in the wallpaper and home decor industry. So I would say you could do things like educate. Think about what are people wanting to know when they start thinking about how they're going to pick wallpaper. Maybe they want to learn about how to actually apply it. How do you use your wallpaper to be complementary with the rest of the room? Should you be doing a feature wall or should it be the entire space? Do I need to be an expert, home person to be able to actually put up wallpaper? I've never put up wallpaper, so maybe I'm your perfect person in that I don't have a clue. What tools do I need? How do I make it match the rest of my home decor? Um, I think that there are so many different things that you are an expert in. And so, if you're a surface pattern designer, you probably really understand how to pair designs. What about color theory? How to mix and match? How to how to make those major home decor decisions. No matter your industry or niche, you have so much knowledge, you have so many stories you could be sharing with the world. But it's you have to decide how you are going to share those in a way that people can find you for years to come. And I really do think Pinterest is that platform. So, what's going to be your major takeaways? You're going to look up some keywords on Pinterest related to your audience. Okay. You're going to think about how you can infuse those into your account and your Pinterest pins. You're going to look at your content. Do you have any new content that you could be sharing to Pinterest? You're going to think about how you can maybe potentially repurpose video to create visibility. And you are going to look for opportunities to create a consistent presence. And I've seen people say, like, well, I've been showing up once every, I pin once a week. What we're really looking at is that you are getting active and maybe it looks like one a day. Then, once you get the results from that, I want you to double down and go to 2 pins a day, but focus on high quality original content. If you're doing book reviews, that's a great topic. So you could think about what are they searching for? What kind of things are people looking for? They're maybe looking for what I should read this summer, what I should take on vacation. What about a particular industry or niche or genre? I think genre is the right word for literature. So I'm looking for a cozy mystery. I'm looking for a steamy book. Maybe I'm looking for a book review for some books that I can bring to my cottage that would be appropriate for my son. He's an emerging reader, a bit reluctant, but he loves graphic novels. So, could we find some books that would be great for his age, help build his reading confidence? Or maybe I want to have some books because I have some mystery lovers coming to stay at my cottage this summer, and I want them to find some new books on my shelves. You really have to think about that people are actively searching for what you are creating and that you know so much about. And like my little suggestion is if you bump into somebody or meet somebody new, what do you talk about? If they ask you for advice, like pretend I sat beside you, Rose, at a coffee shop, and you're clearly doing something with books. And I say, oh, what do like, not to be nosy, but what do you do? And you say, well, I review books. I would say, oh, like, what kind of book are you reviewing now? And you might launch into, oh, well, it's a historical fiction based in Toronto, Canada, and it's about a murder that happened in 1910. And you set the stage for me, right? And so think about, how would you help somebody who doesn't know the name of that book or the author's name? How would you help them find it? What makes your review of that book different? Is it quick? Is it easy? Is it fun? Is it a for people who love history? You have to think like your audience. And when you begin to think like your audience, content creation becomes very, very easy. I'm going to leave things there. I promised myself I was only going to talk at you for 30 minutes. I hope that you found this useful. Like I said, thank you for supporting me and showing up. If you're watching the replay, make sure you jump into the chat. I'm always checking comments. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everyone.